you talk about a little bit about just the work that goes into building a championship culture and how you maintain that and get the new players to blend in such a short period of time?
I mean, I think, when you're building championship culture, how do you build culture? First, number one thing is you bring in great character. You bring in people, high character people. You bring in people that want to play the right way. You bring in people who their only focus is winning, and you get that kind of buy-in. But the reason I look so carefully into their character is because that's what the culture is. So try to be very selective. The big four, extremely high character people. I mean, it all kind of stems from there. They're a locker room that hold each other accountable. Asia and those big four, Jewel, Jackie, Chelsea, they expect a lot from themselves in their performances, and I think it just is a trickle-down effect. But I also try to, give them some structure, but I want them to be free. I think everybody operates under, will be more efficient, be happier players. That's one thing I always said. I want my players to be happy. I want them to want to come to work every day. So I really try to have a culture that happens, because that's when people produce the best. You don't have to be miserable out there. You can actually compete, have fun, and do your job at the highest level, and enjoy the people that you're doing it with. And I think, that's a kind of been a staple for our team. And I think that's what we're just trying to get back to, is having that joy of playing with each other and making each other great out there.
Unreal. Christian Winsider, coach, you went with Aaliyah Nye early on, and she shot 5 of 8 from 3. At one point, she didn't miss a shot. Were you surprised at what she was able to put out there on the court today? And what did you think about her effort?
Not surprised at all. She can shoot. That's why we went and got her. That's what she did in college. Again, it's about getting people. She fit a need for us. I think it's very apparent that I like shooting. Because it gives space to these other players that can get downhill. And so the other thing about her, though, she just doesn't make a lot of mistakes defensively. She's super solid defensively. So she did a great job tonight. And they'll start to get her scouted and whatnot. But even just her presence, having that threat out there, creates space for other people. So not surprised. She's been doing it in all training camp. One of the best shooters I've ever seen.
And you talked about character. Is that something that you were looking at when you were drafting your rookies as well? Just the type of character that fits the Aces culture when you were drafting rookies?
Yeah, I mean, even going after free agents with Cheyenne, Tiffany, Dana, high character people that want to win, that are hungry to win, and Harmony and Aaliyah fit that bill of just high character, great work ethic. Great people you want to be around at work. Isn't it nice if you get to go to work every day and you like the people you're with? So that's a big thing, and I don't take it for granted.
Thank you, Coach. All right, we'll go to Zoom. Alex Eshelman, can you unmute?
Yes, Coach Alex Eshelman with Channel 13 Las Vegas. Congrats on the win. And just kind of going off of the joy and the character, that type of conversation that you've been bringing up. There were so many smiles on the court today. Kia, Aaliyah, Chelsea. What did it feel like to see your players just having a blast?
I mean, it makes me happy. Like I said, we're basketball players. Like, you get this time in your life, just for a split second. And so to be out there, enjoy it, and really enjoy each other's success, that's really special. It takes a special kind of human to authentically be cheering and happy for the person next to you. And, like I said, that confidence and that joy really, really kind of oozes, and that selflessness oozes from, that, especially that first 5, Asia, Chelsea, Jackie, Jewel, and Kia. I mean, they're the ones up cheering the most when somebody else does great out there. So I think, that kind of support from your vets and that kind of leadership, and, they want to get in battle with each other and have each other's back. And I think it's special. It's special. And so, it's just the beginning. It's a long season, we know, but as long as we're committed together, I don't think there's, I think the sky's the limit for this team.
Thanks, Alex. We'll go to Callie.
Coach, I know you mentioned that it was going to be a balance with minutes tonight and seeing what you could get from your newcomers, but also, giving time to the starters. I think some people might have been surprised how much they saw the starters given the lead that you had. Can you talk about kind of what you saw that made you want to keep your starters in for as long as you did?
Because we're trying to get better. We're trying to be the best that we can be. I don't care about the score. I care about are the aces being the aces. Come season and game time, like if we're up like that in the fourth quarter, I'll probably take it off the gas pedal. But right now we're not in brake mode. We're in gas pedal mode.
Kind of like the defensive effort. That's kind of what Chelsea talked about. Is that what you were kind of trying to hone in on with your starters tonight?
Yeah, I mean, I've challenged them to be the best defensive team in the league. And, we have Tiffany Mitchell coming in there. We haven't even really added Dana Evans yet to the group. So I'm super curious to see how good we can be. But we started getting separation when we started getting stops. And I think, having a team that really takes pride in that end of the floor, starting with individual defenders like Jackie and Jewel and Chelsea. And we haven't even gotten to DPYs yet, and Asia and Kia, and Tiffany, we can put a really great defensive group out there that can get multiple stops. So there's things that we're tracking defensively that we haven't in the past that I'm excited about, and kind of gives them a marker and something to shoot for every game. So, it's a good start. We still think we have obviously lots of room to get better.
Thanks, Callie. We will go to Nikias.
Hi, Coach. Congratulations on the win. Wanted to ask you about the offense. It felt like there was more random screening kind of in the flow, particularly off the ball tonight. Was that a point of emphasis for you, or that was just players kind of reading the floor on that, right?
Well, once we started getting stops, we're just playing. That's the best thing about getting stops, is because there's no play. You just go play. I'm not somebody who's going to play call the game to death. First of all, I trust Chelsea and her play calling ability. So, but we want to be off and running and just playing basketball. We want to get spots filled. And then it's just about generating movement and creating space. That's all it's about. This game is about space, creating it offensively and taking it away defensively. And so, and you get some easy ones. This game is a game of confidence. You get a couple layups, you get some easy looks going in, you start to feel good, and you kind of start to see that snowball effect. But I was really pleased with the defense, especially in that second quarter. I thought that was, really where we kind of put the imprint on the game.
Thinking about the 4-4, felt like you kept 3 of the 4 of them. Is that kind of the staggering pattern you want to roll with, or you just kind of testing out?
Just testing it out. I knew, they weren't going to play a lot in the fourth quarter. So I kind of wanted to get them a decent burn 1 through 3. Tiffany Mitchell just coming back. I needed her to get some action, get her timing back and stuff like that. And then, I thought Crystal Bradford came in and gave us good minutes, just kind of stirring things up, getting on the glass. And then, obviously Nye, but I'm looking for our bench to be solid contributors. And honestly, the way that we want to play, we need a bench, because we want to keep that pace and we want to keep that defensive pressure up for 40 minutes. We don't want any let up.
We will end with Jim.
Hi, Becky. Becky, we know you're a great warrior and a great competitor in everything that you do.
Thank you, Jim.
And the Aces have a great winning pedigree. How much did last year, how things finish up? Did it leave a sort of sour taste in your mouth, and does it fuel your motivation going into this year?
Sure. It was a long off season for us. I don't think anybody felt good about the way things ended last year. So you go back, You look at areas that need to change. You look at areas that need to get better. And you don't forget the wounds, right? You let the wounds teach you. And you don't get incredible success without some failure. So the real shame in all that would be not letting that motivate us for this year and letting that stuff kind of go to the wayside and not use it. So, and it's not just me that it was a long off season, you know, Jack, Chelsea, like it was a long off season for all of us. So I know they're itching to get back and play the way that we know we're capable of playing and just get back to being the aces.
Alrighty, thank you, Coach.